I have been selling real estate in downtown Toronto for a long time. And in the past few years, I have been surrounded by a number of people from Brazil. And they all talk to me about this thing called Pao de Queijo, which is basically cheese puffs. So today we're going to learn how to make cheese puffs, Pao de Queijo. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the stove, and we are going to turn on the stove, and we're going to take milk, oil, water, and salt, and we're going to heat it up. Milk, oil, salt, and water, and we're going to heat it up. While we're waiting for the milk, water, oil, and salt mixture to heat up to boiling, we take the tapioca flour. Now, it's not necessarily easy to get, but Bulk Barn across Canada usually has tapioca flour, or you can find it. There's also something called sour flour, and that is not really found here in Canada unless you go to a specialty store that deals with food from Brazil. But a friend who's a chef says what we should do is make sure we're mixing in a little bit of baking powder, and the baking powder helps it rise. The sour flour is basically tapioca flour that has been allowed to age and ferment. So we've mixed it. Whoa. I'm going to put the tapioca flour in the mixer and get ready to add the milk mixture. Waste not, want not. I'm just mixing this just to keep it from getting too crazy hot. And as you can see, it's just about to come to a boil. So have a look at the milk here. What we want to do is we want to make sure that the milk gets over 100 degrees and that it really starts to boil. Now have a look at this. I think this is ready to get into our mixture. You can see how it's rising and it getting quite a lot bigger. Okay, so we're boiling. And now we're going to take it off and add it to the tapioca flour. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to turn the mixer on very, very slow. And slowly, 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 I am going to add, bit by bit, the milk solution. Now, remember, this is very, very hot. And for the next step of the Pao de Queijo, we have to wait until everything gets a little bit colder. And that is because if we put the eggs, which are coming up, into the hot water, they'll cook as eggs. So what we have to do is wait until whatever's in the mixer cools off a bit. So while we're doing this, have a quick look at this. You can see how it's starting to solidify and become a nice glob. So I just want to make sure that we're all nicely mixed, and before we add anything else, and then go and have yourself a few minutes, watch a movie, whatever, and then we're going to come back to this. So the next step with this is you're going to add 1 egg And let's see how that pulls it together. If not, we may have to add another egg yolk. Let's get it on slow. Doesn't hurt at any time also, just to make sure that everything is well mixed. So everything is off the bottom. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, there's a lot down here. So have a look here. It's almost solidified up. Good. Now, the next thing is to add Parmesan cheese and mozzarella. So. Here we go. Parmesan and mozzarella. So we really have Pao de Queijo. Start mixing a bit. So we've added the one. Let's add the other. Just smell it already. The cheese is mixing. It is wonderful. Yum. So we're mixing. Mozzarella, pastry, Parmesan. It's getting more and more solid. Well, here we are at the last little bit. So I've taken a spoon and I'm gonna dig in and I'm gonna take a ball and roll it and put it on this for the oven. And we've preheated our oven to 400 degrees. So let's make sure it's important that it's nice and hot. And it's amazing. So I'm making, the good thing to do is take a bunch that you know you'll be eating right away, roll them, and then if you do another plate of rolls as well, just put them in the freezer. And they will be ready at any time you want to make Pao de Queijo for your friends or for dinner. It's very, very important to make sure that the balls are nice and round and very tight. There we go. And as I said, you can take all the leftovers because that's going to give us 12, about 15 Pao de Queijo, and we can make another 15 and just put them in the freezer for the next time you decide to have friends over. So here's our last Pao de Queijo, and as I mentioned to you, the oven must be at 400 degrees. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but we also have the rest that we can save in the freezer for the next time. Let's see what happens in the next few minutes. So while we're waiting for the Pao de Queijo in the oven, I'm going to take the rest of the Pao de Queijo and I'm going to make these little balls on a plate, as you see, and put that in the fridge. And once they've frozen, at that point we can put them into plastic bags and then have them for the next dinner. Okay? Very easily done. Here's the second batch of Pao de Queijo, and I am just going to take it like this and I'm going to put it in the freezer. And then when it's frozen, we're going to put them in plastic bags for the next time we have guests. It's 20 minutes later, and now we're going to open up and see how the Pao de Queijo looks. Yum! Oh my God, it looks delicious. Oh. Now some people might like to have them a little browner. So we've done them 20 minutes, but you might want to take them up to 22 or 23 minutes just to get them browner. but these look absolutely wonderful. They are too hot to eat now, but in a couple of minutes they'll be just perfect. Enjoy. And the last thing I have to tell you, it's very, very important that you eat these with Brazilian coffee. Enjoy.